Today is Sunday, Parashat Balak. In the Parashah of this week, Balak calls on Bilam, who's known to have some kind of powers, to curse. And he calls him to help ward off the threat that Balak, the king of Moab felt as the Jewish people were coming closer to his border. And he asked Bilam to please curse the Jewish people. But every time that Bilam, the wicked, tried to curse, only blessings came out. So every time that he meant to inflict or to have words of malediction towards the Jewish people, instead, it was only good things and blessings. One of the blessings that he said was, Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Israel. He praised the tents of the Jewish people. And actually, this is one verse that we say in the morning before Shachrit. They teach that even in nursery. It's a beautiful blessing for the Jewish people. How beautiful are your tents, your dwellings. He said, what did he see to praise the tents of the Jewish people? He saw the camp of the Jewish people was so well organized. And in some previous parashiot, we spoke about how the tribes were situated around the Mishkan, but he saw something very special. He saw that the opening of every tent did not face the opening of the neighbor's tent, so that no one was able to see into the tent of his neighbor. That impressed Bilam so much that they were so discreet about the privacy of others. And that's something that is a very important value that the Jewish people had and should have in general, to be discreet and to respect the privacy of others. The tents were set up in the desert to make sure to protect the privacy of every single person. How different it is today in popular culture with the social media, how so much is exposed, whether willingly or unwillingly, to people all over the world, that the things are not so discreet anymore. But of course, what impressed so much Bilam is how people were so respectful of the privacy of the others, whether to make known what's going on inside their house or to peek into other people's houses. Of course, today, in the popular media with all the paparazzi, it's exactly the opposite of this approach. So this was a very important value that they had, and it's an important value to preserve, to be discreet, to respect the privacy of others. And there are laws in the Gemara that teach about, that in terms of like, what if you build something that would have an impact on the privacy of another person? There are many laws that have to do with that. So he's not successful at cursing the Jewish people. Every time he tries to curse, only a blessing comes up. What happens at the end of the Parashah? And Masechet Sanhedrin, Daf Kuv Vav Amud Aleph, page 106a, tells that Bilam, when he was not able to win by his curses against the Jewish people, only blessings came out. He told Balak, I'm going to give you an advice. These people, the Jewish people, their God despises immorality. Just send him your daughters and you'll be able to win against them. And unfortunately, what happened? He devised a plan that they had like a kind of a swap meet, a market for selling beautiful clothing. And they put outside elderly ladies, so that as the Jewish man came to see what's available to buy, the older ladies were in the front, and they would tell them there is nicer ones inside, nicer type of material. And as they would go inside, it was a trap, because there were some ladies who were convincing these men to get involved with them in immorality. And through that immorality, they even got them to Avodah Zarah, idolatry. And that was the strategy that was able to win against the protective shield of the Jewish people. Nothing was able to harm them. Even Bilam, who was known as a curser, He could not curse against the Jewish people, but that, send them your daughters. That's what Bilam told Balak. And that's something that could be a vulnerable point for the Jewish people, because if you're able to attract the man to the non-Jewish daughters, to your daughters, then that's how you'll have an entry point to affect them and to have an impact on them. And that same situation that Bilam advised Balak as something that would be to the detriment of the Jewish people is a continuous threat throughout generations. And nowadays, with assimilation, with mixed marriages, this is the greatest risk to the Jewish people. That if a person intermarries, the next generations, and of course his own life, and of course the next generation of Jews is affected. So this is something that Bilam advises Balak, and that's something that is a threat, not just in our days, but even in the time of the desert. That was something that caused harm, and we'll see afterwards that there are 24,000 people that died as a result of that. And that's basically the beginning, the middle, and the end of the Parashah that we are learning this week as we go towards next Shabbat when Parashat Balak will be read. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.